Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts. It is Friday and it's February the 20, I don't know, it's in February. So welcome, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Ottawa, Canada, and I go live, it's the 26th, February 26th. I go live Fridays at 3 o'clock. I'm a little bit late today. Fridays at 3 to showcase Stampin' Up! Products and hopefully give you crafting ideas, card making ideas, sometimes 3D projects. But today we're featuring the beautiful Perennial Lavender suite of products from the new mini catalog. So this is just an amazing suite of products. This is the mini catalog that is available to customers January to April 2024, and it has just some wonderful products in it. Some are seasonal, some are not. Perennial you could use anytime really. So today we're going to focus on this suite of products. It always gives you some beautiful samples that you can try out and then a list of the products. Now this is a big suite. It has 2 bundles in it, Painted Lavender and Perennial Postage, and I'll show you those. It has some beautiful shimmer gems, some butterfly accents, and then paper that is truly, truly beautiful. The artist that designed this paper is amazing. And then it gives you more detail on all the products in the next couple of pages. And it's also celebration, so if you purchased one of these bundles, that would qualify you for in Canada, a free level 1 stamp celebration project, celebration product with a purchase of $60 before tax and shipping. So great deal, because there are some beautiful things in celebration as well. So I just want to show you the 2 sets. So this is the Painted Lavender. The dies were on back order for a little while, but I just checked and they are available now. So everything in this suite is available. And I love that for this one you die cut 2 at the same time. They're just really, really pretty. So there's those. Then there's the Perennial Postage, which has these image die cuts that look like looks like a postage stamp, and really, really beautiful sentiments. Here for you always. I can't thank you enough. Happy Mother's Day. I know you will get through this. Just really, really beautiful sentiments, and a really cool die set. And then the other one that I've used quite a bit in this, well, since I got it, is Thoughtful Expressions dies. These are amazing. I love the circular florally type ones and then the rectangle ones. You'll see some of the cards that I've used them on, and there's also a beautiful stamp set that goes with this as well. And then the paper that we're using is Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper, and if you get a pack of this paper you could make so many cards. It is just really, really beautiful. It's one of those packs of paper that it's hard to decide which side of the paper you want to use. And one of the sheets is, it's a big 12 by 12, but for this card, it has, this probably went here maybe, it has a design in each corner, all 4 corners, and then if you strategically cut it, then you'll just have a beautiful backdrop for 4 cards, and then you can use the middle piece for something else. But that's just one of the cards. So I'm going to show you some of the cards I've already made. I did some of these at one of my classes, and then we'll make some together. Also in that suite are the amazing Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. They come in 3 different shades. Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and Berry Burst, I think that is. And then these beautiful butterfly accents, and you actually get 40. So there are 5 on a sheet, and so then you get 8 sheets, and I'm going to show you how to color it. So lots of fun things to go along with the paper and the other products. So here is one that I did using, not sure what it's called, the technique where you take your 3 pieces of paper and then cut them so that you get a sampling of each one. There's 2 different ones. And we're going to make one like this, so I'll show you how I did it. Here's another one. So the trick is you can see here how this one piece was there, and I think it's on the card I'm going to show you. So you need 3 pieces, and then you'll get 3 different designs. Here's some showing you that beautiful piece that I described to you, and the little butterfly that I inked up with my blending brush, and then I did add Wink of Stella to this one. And then these 2, these are the backs of each other's paper, and it was really hard to decide which one I was going to use. Originally I designed it for this piece, but this one was so beautiful I made one of each. And we're going to do that one as well. Let's start with that one. So I used crumb cake base, 8.5 by 5.5. Then Pretty Peacock, and then the beautiful designer paper. So let's add our Pretty Peacock. Hopefully my glue is cooperating today. It's a perfect day to be in our craft room. We've had freezing rain here for a couple of days now. And so being in our craft room is just a happy place. There we go. That one I think is 4 3/8 by 5 3/8. No, yeah. And then, because you can see it has just a little bit of a border. Now for this one, this strip is 1 inch and this strip is 3/4 inch. I did go ahead and heat emboss with white heat emboss powder. Today is all about you. Happy birthday. And I'm going to glue it on, but we're not going to use, we're going to trim it down. But I want to center it here. Actually, I shouldn't have glued that on yet, but that's okay, because I want to do it on a bit of an angle. So let's just chop. So I'll chop that one, and then that'll give me a guide. If you remember, do it before you glue this one on. Okay, so this one I need to be a little more exact, but you know what, it's paper. I don't think anyone's going to really notice if it's not exact. Well, that's pretty darn close. I'm just going to take a smidgen off of this. Not perfect, but good enough. The person receiving this card is going to think it's beautiful. All right, so I'm going to put it like that. You could put it a bit lower. I think my other one might have been a bit lower. And then I have the greenery, I guess you want to say, from the Designer Series paper. This is a retired shimmer paper. It's soft succulent. And I'm just going to line those up on top of each other. I think I'll put the soft succulent on top, actually. So I'm just taking a glue dot, finding a spot where it looks good. So you can put them exactly the same, or you can put one taller than the other one. I'm going to put them exactly the same, but a little bit offset. And then I'm going to add glue dot. No, I'm going to add glue, I think. Then when you add a glue dot, you get a little bit of height if you squish it up a little bit. Let's just go with this. Make sure I don't put it over top of my sentiment. There we go. And then you could add a little bow if you want, and this little piece is for the inside. And you could add a piece of white here, but I think the crumb cake is easy enough to write on that you don't need to do that. So I'm just going to put a little strip down here. And there's our first card. So pretty. That paper is just so, so pretty. All right, so that's the first one. The next one is this one that I showed you. So I'm going to show you how I did my butterfly. So I just took my butterfly, a scrap of paper. I used Gorgeous Grape. You could use Highland Heather if you wanted it a little lighter. And the trick when you're using a blending brush is to do it in swirls and start off the paper. I'm going to start light because I can go back and darken it up, but I can't make it lighter. And, oh, I'll show you something else that we figured out. One of the girls at our team meeting figured out. Let me just grab a, let me see if this is for the inside. Okay, so this is for the inside piece. So what she did is she took her butterfly and put it in the corner. Now, if you're going to do this, you have to be a little more careful that you're not moving it around. And this was Pat, if she's watching. Oh no, she's in Florida. Oopsie. Well, she might still be watching, I guess. You could put a little piece of tape or glue dot or something down. I messed up down there, but isn't that pretty? So that's just for the inside. Little tip there. And we noticed that when we were doing our coloring that you could do that. So what I did then is I went and I took, where's my one? That's my one I was working on. And I went a little darker on these edges. You could also do different colors, but remember it's going to blend together. All right. So that's as simple as that is. Now you do have inky fingers after, so be careful. So what I do with my blending brushes, I have one that's for all my purples. I never clean them, and it seems fine. I have another one for all my reds. If they're really bright, different colors, I might have a separate one. So this card, Crumb Cake. These are so simple because the paper does all the work. Pretty Peacock. Because a lot of people used Gorgeous Grape as this layer, but Pretty Peacock is just as gorgeous. It really pulls, that's beautiful too. It really pulls out the Pretty Peacock in the Designer Series paper, I feel. Oops, that was upside down. You could also use the little brass butterflies on this. So here's another little strip for inside. It just adds a little something, and you have tons of these little strips that just don't get used that much. So here we have our hello there. Now for this one, I did die cut it out of the middle part of the Designer Series paper. So you can cut it out of this part of the paper if you're not going to use it. So that's a good little tip as well. So I'm going to add this with dimensionals. And then we'll add our butterfly. You don't want to cover up too much of the flower, so I just put it down here. And then for the butterfly, you can take your bone folder and just give it a gentle curl. They are fragile. And then a glue dot right here, I found worked the best. Or you could use a tiny little dimensional, but you even have to trim the tiny dimensionals. And the antennae are really fragile. Forgot to add gems to the last one. Where's my picky tool that I like? Just add a couple. I don't usually add them with my fingers, but there we go. So pretty. I love these little butterflies. A pack will last you quite a long time. Hi, Lise. Yes, I am live today. All right, here's the third one. So maybe somebody knows what this technique is called. I don't remember. Maybe Lise knows. Where you take your paper and cut it in 3. So what you have to do is you have to take it's always a puzzle. You have to take 3 pieces of paper, have them all facing the side that you want it. And then I do my first cut, and I cut them all at the same time so that you get it, you know they're going to be all the exact same. I cut this one, and then I cut this one. I don't measure it, they're all random, and if you look, they're all a bit different. So then when you place it, you can either have a little bit of space between the pieces or do them tight together. I think for this one I might do a little bit of space. When you do it tight together, you know it's going to be, it's going to fit exactly. But let's gamble a little bit. Put a little bit of space there. Not quite as much there. Okay. I think I'll do this one next. When we did this at class, some people had trouble putting it together. They were using the wrong side and saying it wasn't working. I said, no, you're using the wrong side. Because I knew it would work because I had cut them all from the exact same piece. And then once I did cut them, I took them all and laid them out and took one piece of this, one piece of this, and one piece of this. So I knew. Oh yes, Stack It, Whack It. Okay, that's a fun name. Stack It, Whack It. I think that could go for cards too. Here we go, the last piece. So there's not quite as much space here, but I think that's fine. Here's that piece I did, and when I was coloring it, and I just used it on the inside piece, I did mess up a little bit, but hey, I think it still looks good. Add a little something. Oh, that's going to go in here. I did have another little piece I could have used, but I like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. Yeah, Lise, at our last team meeting, one of our team members tried that, and we all thought it was awesome. So here's my thank you. I do like to hide this middle part. I don't know why. It's just me, I guess. So let's do dimensionals, and then we're going to add some sprigs. So there's a nice variety in the Perennial Lavender of the little flowers. I'm going to put it to the side because I want my flowers. So this is the one that you die cut 2 at the same time, which I love. So I'm going to do a whole little bouquet on this one. Some of them I have not very many. This is Peacock, Pretty Peacock. And then I have Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Pretty Peacock. And then I do have a little bow to make it like a little bouquet. So I think I'm going to use glue dots to assemble my bouquet. And when you're doing that, you have to work from the back. So let's put one on here. I should have done that first. Put one on here. And I'll add this one. You can make it so that wherever you put your glue dot is where your bow is going to go, which might end up happening here. Sometimes you can get away with one glue dot to hold them all together. It depends how many you have and how wide the stems are. I'm going to add another glue dot. Oops. It would be pretty with vellum too. Alright, so now I have a whole little bouquet. Making sure I don't go off the sides or the edges. I'm going to try this. Let's see if that's going to work. Also remembering that I want my bow to go here and hide this mess, and now when I do that, it covers up my whole U. Redo. So I'm going to put it a little lower. All right, and a glue dot for here. So you can see how this paper really is the star of the show. Okay, I'm going to angle the bow this way so that it doesn't cover up that. And then we'll add a couple of gems. You could add a butterfly too, but I really don't think it needs a butterfly. I think maybe some gems up here. And a little gem down here. No, that looks too random. There. Thank you. Is crooked. And you can wink of Stella these flowers too, even on the cardstock. I've tried that before. It's quite pretty. I wouldn't do all of them. I would just do one or two. These are extra little scraps that I had that I could have put on the inside, but I like this shadowed butterfly instead. Now this is kind of floppy here, so I think I'm going to add one more glue dot, because that might wreck when you're trying to put it in the card. So I'm going to do this one because hopefully it'll pull down the other ones. There, that's better. All right, let's review. Thanks, Lise. So remember, it's Celebration. Either of those bundles would earn you a free Celebration product in Canada. Oh, I had one more. I forgot. It'll be quick. Okay, so this one I did use the Perennial postage die cut, and I used a little strip of the paper. I almost forgot about this one. And I want to show you because I'll show you one little fun thing with the Perennial postage dies. So this is going right smack in the middle. There's this one. The colors. The colors. They're spectacular. It's really nice paper to do one of those cards where you cut it off at 1 inch and then you have your piece so that you can see both sides. I don't think I've done one like that yet with this paper. Okay, super simple. Now this is one of the Perennial postage die cuts, and it has these little notches in it. So what I did is I wove my linen thread around so it catches in the dots, in the notches. They're not dots, they're notches. And then I'm up to this one. Just want to make sure they're all tight. The middle one seems not quite as tight. There we go. No, that made it worse. Kind of have to play around with it to get the right tension. You can put a little bit of, there we go, a little piece of tape on the back. So what I want to do now is take it to this one and do a nice bow. And I want my bow facing down because I don't want it to cover up this beautiful saying. Just a little note to say hello. And my piece of linen thread is way longer than I needed, but sometimes that happens. I could try to wrap it around again, but I don't want to, really. Okay, so then I'm going to trim it, add this with dimensionals, and I'll put a dimensional on here to tighten that tension. You can see how I crossed it in the back. That's what's making it a little bit looser. You can just play around with it, and really it looks fine. Okay, there we go. And then we'll do a little show and tell. So you could put it smack in the middle. I don't know, lately I've been doing everything down to the right. No, I think I'll do it smack in the middle. Let's keep it straight. And then definitely a few little gems on this. Let's take a little one for here. Okay, now we're done. So just a little note to say hello. Really, these showcase the paper. And I love that they coordinate with crumb cake instead of white. We have a lot of papers that coordinate with white, but crumb cake is just a nice change. Okay, so let's go this way. Here's another one using that cut method, the stack and whack, we'll call it. Thank you, Lise. So here's one with the stack and whack. You'll see I use that beautiful die set. Thoughtful Expressions. So that's these dies. Really, really pretty. Here's another stack and whack. There's another one and another one. Here are the ones that showcase that beautiful paper that really all we added was the butterfly. A couple of gems. And then again, going on the diagonal. And these two are opposite, back and front of these papers. So today is all about you. Happy birthday. Just a note. Thank you for your friendship. I think this would be a nice sympathy card as well. Had a lot of people request sympathy cards lately. So not good, but that's a beautiful design. Okay, lots of beautiful cards using the Perennial Lavender suite of products. And hopefully you see a style or a design, and you might have some beautiful paper at home that will work with these card designs as well. Don't forget, it is, yes, they are addictive. It is celebration time, free product with a $60 purchase, and you can find my online store at mariannecowan.com. My next online class is the birthday class. I want to say February 23rd. It's an online only class. I do ship it out across Canada, free anywhere in Canada. So you can check out my website, mariannecowan.com, for more information. Thanks everyone, and have a great weekend.